SBG, and what's up, Fortnite fam? My name's Sundown, joined by Monster D-Face to call all the action here in the first qualifying rounds of the FNCS for Chapter 3 in NA East. Monster, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing good. Taking a look at the list as well off of the, of course, the 50 top duos that are going to push through for the round and the qualifier today.
Anyways, like video, subscribe to channel. Kind of viewing party. I'm still banned from streaming, I think, so whatever. I'm not streaming. Anyways, first game, NA East, baby. Let's get into it.
Talking about Pamsow and Fatch, they both ended up playing at the Streamer Bowl 3 just last weekend. Pamsow taking home the crown. Fatch also having a couple of really solid games in there, so I think that chemistry going back and forth. We saw them in the Do You Even Know Me video. They did pretty well there, so have to give them a little bit of recognition. But something to talk about too, Monsters, the qualifying format, going from down to 400 teams, then to 50 duos at the top.
But you can go
kind of had a little bit of a tougher round too there.
Yeah, definitely, and it wasn't just that, but it sounds like the horn for the battle bus is just about ready. We'll be taking this conversation into the game right here, right now.
MD and Sundown casting the game.
And here it is, match number 1 of 6. So you're probably asking, what are the stakes today? Well, top 8 goes straight through to the finals, where they'll have a chance to compete for a piece of the prize pool. You can see that map, or the bus path splitting from northeast, just a little bit above kind of that southwest mid-split in the top right part of your screen. You got DGen in the bottom right-hand corner. You got Knifer, and we'll see how this early fight ends up going down.
Yeah, take a look here. Yamzo and DGen touching down right now, trying to get their loot situated. It seems like they are going to claim their house first up here towards the campsite. But hold up, this shot's down low. Looks like this is a contested drop, and it's not looking too good for Yamzo or DGen. Yamzo did not get, or got tagged a few times, and DGen didn't get a weapon here, Sundown. This is probably the worst case scenario for this duo.
Yeah, when you end up in one of those split situations and you just kind of come up empty, all it takes is one chest not to spawn, one floor loot not to be there, somebody to just be a little bit quicker off of the draw, and all of a sudden, one of our top trios right away, Yamzo is down. He's under pressure. We talked about confidence coming in. Well, that might end up being your downfall. You can see DGen just trying to get some mats, trying to disengage, as Blonde Knifer going to come away victorious right off of the start, and that's really good. Like we said, only 3 players have gone down, and Yamzo immediately picked up, barely got to play.
Now, mind you, this is a bigger picture fight here. This is for control of the area, so they can get llama control as well and things like that. So landing at this house is a huge, huge risk. It's probably going to be the most volatile drop spot of the season. We saw in seasons past, there's always that one location that players just want to fight for. This season, this time around, this is probably where the most rivalry is going to come out of. This is where like that bad blood is going to begin, qualifier after qualifier. So for Knifer, someone who is no stranger to finalist stage settings, Blah, he's got his first taste of big competition against big pros.
Now, dropping in there, you're probably thinking, wow, why would people be contesting this one random cabin? Well, it's really the only viable drop spot if you're not going to land directly on top of that llama. But if you land directly on top of the llama and then you go and take a fight, odds are good if somebody is in the cavern, they're still going to end up winning that out. Additionally, too, when rotating away from here, you have so many available options. You could swing over to the cavern and just kind of join whatever fracas is going on over there. But what you'll normally see players kind of do is just scout out around them, see what's close nearby, where you can get storm surge tags, as you generally see from some of the wider splits, i.e. the Cammy split we see over in Europe, as Mega in the top left corner of the feed picks up. We got Elige also going down. Mega doing the bulk of the work, and that's 2 very early elims.
Very early big elims, but for Lava Boy and Shagro here, they're getting pressure to another very, very big team on the other side of the wall. Looks like Zypha is looking for the push in here, but Lava's got control of this field, but the side shots come in. That's Zypha's, no, it wasn't Zypha's duos actually, because the Bexi's already down, so there's someone looking in from the distance here, but Zypha is going to be able to clean things up here. So he gets the 1 elim, and now it's a one-on-one situation.
Isolated for a little bit of time, trying to disengage and see if potentially he can get over. He's pings coming down right away. But yeah, I was wondering when those third-party tags were going to come over from the side. Zypha will pop the mini, will also eat that Chug Splash. Shark Girl trying to get her duo up immediately. Lava Boy back up on his feet, but Zypha wants to go over and try and pressure that. You don't necessarily want to end up in a situation where you're fighting down 1v2. However, with one build now and hitting these interior walls, there's a very little chance it's going to end up with a favorable situation.
Yeah, he's got to get something going here, but the real thing is he kind of has to fight for that reboot card on the other side. So hands tied behind the back right now. Zypha's going to be in an uphill climb. It's going to be a tough fight now. Over by the Joneses, we already knew there were shots coming from that side. So Zypha has to be very, very cautious, favoring that outer skirt there. That was going to put him at a disadvantage, but seems like Shark Girl's got the full advantage here, but Zypha sniffs him out. He kind of understands, okay, this player is above me somewhere, but no, here comes a shot. Those are just a few more builds Zypha's not going to be able to work with now, and it's all or nothing here.
We're going to get a little dink from the side, trying to offer Zypha some form of relief, trying to figure out why Shark Girl, they didn't end up sticking Reboot over on the side, might not have had the card, or potentially was a little bit of afraid of another third party coming through and wanted to resolve the fight first, but there's more than enough time. But now the pressure's going to come up for Stinger SMG, but a great trade coming through from Shark with the back off a little bit. Second one coming through. That's the striker pump. Does not find the third there. Zypha was just barely able to reset the ramp, and now he's going to be sent to the hills. But remember what we talked about earlier, Monster. He had next to no builds, struggling to just kind of hit that half wall there. That doesn't offer a ton of brick, and the SMG just shreds through environment.
So perfect for this kind of situation. Like, Shark Girl has every advantage in this kind of fight right here. Little do they know as well, right, as the shots are coming in, because Zypha is down to no material. Now, the fact that Zypha was farming could give away a little bit of info, and those white tags right there are perfect. Here comes the finisher. Just one more tag is all it's going to take. The peanut butter edit is not going to be enough, and there goes a quick wrap up here. But there are highlights to catch up on as well, because there are fights evolving all around the map on the other side while this battle was going down. Take a look at how things unfolded over here. Degen comes, slides up, gets melted, SMG to the face, and the barrel shut down, and safe for Slacks and Clarity G as they hop on into the box here and just completely demolish another crew as well. Now, Sundown, let's talk about the significance of these fights, because the point threshold, these elims add up big time.
Yeah, elims, particularly when you get into the final rounds, and you have to wait the fact that you're playing against those slightly more talented players. And we talk about slightly more talented. This is the best of the best, right? You only get so many opportunities to qualify through for the FNCS. It's a fresh slate. Nobody has qualified through the finals, and you want to get into that top 8 immediately. You want to end up getting there. And that first game is kind of where you're able to stake your claim on it. And if all of a sudden you get rebuffed initially, Monster, too, now you're in set lobbies. It's not like, okay, let's go queue up again. You're sitting there, and you got to wait out that 20, 25 minutes, sit in queue again, and then go immediately after. That's a long time to think.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, because Cold and Scented, a team that you would think would only need 5 or 6 games minimal, right, to punch their way through, they were actually one of the few teams coming out of the last qualifier round that took 7 game attempts, right? So I don't know if today they're feeling a little bit more antsy than usual, but there is something potentially going on here as we hop on over to this replay. Another fight. Turks and Teed get just dropped here. It's Polarized is on the other side of the barrel. The big shots come in, and you can see the angles were just not enough. Polarized sneaks him from behind, cones him down, and then next thing you know, they are dropped out of the competition. And to Sundown's point, they get to sit there. They have to wait now until the next lobby queues up.
Yeah, it looked like Turks might have had a window to go aggressive. They hit a bunch of shots and ended up shutting the entirety of the shields there, but unfortunately was unable to kind of see that little window. And already the min-maxing beginning for Cold and Scented. You say, here, max out on those big shield pots. Plenty of excess shields, which I feel like on the Chapter 3 map in particular, it's not something we've talked about a ton on the broadcast. We did have a little bit of a content video going over it. Reese and Panda did a fantastic job on that. But there's a ton of shield and heals, and it's not surprising to see almost every single duo rocking with the full 100 HP, 100 shield, and then plenty in their inventory. But right now, swinging on over, Bucky and Cam posted up just southwest of the Bugle here, and not necessarily a fight they want to take, because they're right on the edge of zone. If you get bogged down as other people are rotating in, things can get a little bit weird. But Isha and Drew looks like they want to go.
Yeah, they're in enemy builds right now, so Bucky and Cam are playing hyper aggressive here. Not sure what the decision is here or why they feel so confident to take this fight. It could just be a setup for later in the game, but Cam and Bucky are on the losing end as they're getting tagged up a little bit more than them able to exchange and connect onto the opponents. But look here, this is that same situation. Very aggressive, standing on enemy builds, right in front of enemy walls as well. This is all just a sign of pure confidence coming out of Cam and Bucky. Now, you don't really see Bucky deviate from his usual duos of like Macwood and others, but hey, this time around they're trying something new for the duo season, and this is the excitement of seeing FNCS come back, seeing new teams kind of form and forge. Who are going to be those elite duos that step out from the pack? These are our first high-level competition, high-level battles that we see on the new season, and Cam is really setting the pace right now.
Yeah, able to try and get forward the spray immediately. Wow. Good follow-up and a fantastic replace there from Bucky on the other side. Was able to get the wall, and Cam immediately committed to the SMG, swapped over to the heavy. As soon as they got the down, they're able to hit the shots there on the issue. And that just shows, well, a lot of people think of the heavy shotgun as not necessarily the best box-to-box. It can be very useful. So we get a replay here. Elite Death, Tabney picking up on the other side of it as we get the replay from the fight. We also just saw a nice little finish off there. As we're closing in, swing on over to Clicks, see what he's shooting at. Got a duo right over to the other side of him. There's 3 or 4 duos who are rotating right past him right now.
Yeah, this is the perfect situation. First, look at the MK kind of aiming down sight situation here. It's a rare as well. What I am loving about these loadouts that we're watching right now, we're seeing a lot of just mix up, right? Some pro players kind of leaning more into the striker shotgun, then you see others who just favor that heavy, even at a gray rarity, that uncommon rarity that you can just find, or I mean super common rarity you can find everywhere, pretty much spread out across the map. And then just to talk about who Death and Tabney eliminated, that was actually Jamper and Duke there. A big pickup there, a big team that I think a lot of people on social media were kind of favoring towards, expecting Jamper to do really well. He's got his moments in the shine, right, in the sun when it comes down to these duo settings. So pretty tough game for them to get eliminated so early. Look, we're already down to just 40 duos here.
I just want to like document my time watching.
Yeah, lots of early fights, and I would say more resolutions than I would have expected. Right, 10 full duos have already been dropped. That means there's only 1 solo running around. Generally in duos, what you'll see is one player gets picked off, and you think we're set for the first Storm Surge. We don't necessarily have to go and hunt it down. But right now, it seems like there's a little bit of flexing going on from these duos, saying like, hey, we really want to push you out of this spot. We don't want you thinking you can maybe like sneak around to the side, get the reboot card, scavenge some of our other loot. Like, we want not only the drop spot, we want everything around the outside. And now we're going to swing around and see which teams might potentially end up being under or right around that Storm Surge line. This is the warning on the right-hand side. When that zone does close, don't forget Storm Surge in competitive Fortnite will activate at the 3rd, 5th, and 7th zone. At the 3rd zone, there needs to be more than 70 players up. The teams who have done the least amount of damage, above 70 players, will be hit by the Storm Surge 25 damage every 5 seconds until you're forced out of the action, or we get below 70 players left. And right now, Jock Illis, 85 above, so you can think that line is going to keep dropping, but as I say, at 66, 42, it's dropping quick.
Yeah, it is coming down to that 179 player. The solo that we pointed and singled out seems like he got his duo up. So we're back up to 80 players now, guys. You have a pretty strong threshold to break here. 10 players are going to have to get eliminated here from the lobby in order for things to kind of simmer down. And it seems like the team on the other side of the wall here needs Surge as well. Jack's got to make a big decision here. And remember, the shoes, the pressure is really on Illis. Illis, who is filling in for who would have been Acorn up until this point, right? One of the most notorious duos, one of the best duos we ever seen kind of compete on Jack's long history. It's Illis, though. Illis has that firepower. It's up to him to clutch up. Can he get the 2? And he can. The tracking was great. He will be able to get the finish there, but now the pressure from the other teams. I cannot believe, as we're setting this up, Illis manages to actually complete the 2 elims under the big pressure, and he barely had HP. Look at that. He had 29 health because the 2 siphons come in the last moment there.
Yeah, 1-2, he buckled up those big shoes. 3-4, he showed a plague, and Jeff plays the door right out there, and a fantastic job with that stinger into the Mark 7 swap. As now we're going to swap on over to Beef and Nick FN, the French-Canadian duo, 14 below, 3 duos who are underneath pressure, but they know just a single tag will put them back above. And with that shield keg directly on top of them, this is a great play for them as they're just able to wait it out. And that's something I hadn't actually considered, is the shield keg just being able to negate a significant amount of that storm surge time.
Yeah, and it's like those new mechanics that kind of come into play here, right? We're going to see tons of these strategies. Earlier today on the European region, we saw a very unique circumstance play in where you had a player running in from the storm, utilizes the slide mechanic down the hill and was able to heal while they were kind of maneuvering through. So you can just see how the skill gap changes season to season, chapter to chapter, especially as new items and new mechanics get introduced to the game. This is where our pro players are just elites, right? They are a cut above the rest when it comes down to developing these strategies and utilizing these very clever type situations. But right there, you see the value of holding on to the shield keg.
But that was so good from Cold. That was fantastic from Cold, where he was just 1v2 shooting, holding a wall, and he ended up trading. It was like 80 damage for 30 on his end. Fantastic job. Let's take a look at a replay here, though, because then we're going to hop on board. Nerface and Bacon fight out in the zone, and they just get cleaned up on the side. And he knows that's tough. He's going to be frustrated by that game number one, and he gets to join everyone else spectating through. As now Day, though, way out in the side of the zone. They're above Surge, but unfortunately trying to save those gauntlets, not wanting to necessarily end up leaping out from the ground, and he will end up getting cleaned up there. Not sure if Clix was able to end up staying on his feet, as we're going to swing on over here to Roller and Trashy. Post up in a bush right on the edge of Stormline here, looking for an ambush.
Yeah, this is a very classic season or chapter 2 style play. We saw a lot of bush play coming in on the trio season, now leaning into duos. It does not change. If you can get yourself a bush, keep a low profile. That is that element of surprise you are looking for. Anyone who opens up an edit is going to get punished. Now, again, the 35 duo threshold has finally been crossed, so all of the players in the lobby, regardless of how many elims or whatnot you have up until this moment, have earned at least a point. So all the teams we see from here on out are at least a point in the right direction. You can see Bugha off in the distance there alongside Miro. They just qualified through by the skin of their teeth. A single point in the last game. Big clutch, top 10 for them. Bring them to this stage here. Mega and Dubs, on the other hand, had a top 10-ish finish. Very iconic duo. If there's anything I can say about this team, these guys are definitely icons of our scene. They have been around for so long in duo season. It really does excite me to see them operating with one another. Now, the problem, I would say, with them in the previous seasons was they would make it to finals and not really find the results. But now that we're on duos time, maybe, just maybe, we see the resurgence of Dubs and Mega.
Well, I think they never necessarily found somebody who they felt super comfortable with and matching their playstyle because they had played together for so long. Like, you're never going to hit that level of chemistry, right? It's just, regardless of any sport, any competitive, when you've had a player for a while, even if you mesh incredibly well with somebody, if you already have amazing chemistry with the duo, it makes it so hard to then play. So when you do get back to this, it's a nice little breath of confidence. And I can't imagine Mega has a ton of confidence, right? 3 elims early on. I mean, they're just now kind of getting into those late game situations where generally we really see them thrive. So this is the first time we've seen them set up for success like this in a while.
Yeah, big elims early on. I do want to see if we can get an early taste or early look at where they're dropping. How are these elims coming about to them? Bugha and Mira, on the other hand, trying to play for a prime spot here. Now, not only do they have to get in the zone, but they want to play for a little bit of height here. This is a risk that they're going to take as a duo right below them starts to focus up. So he gets tagged a little bit here. Miro does have to track in behind. He is trailing a bit. You can see he also loses his shield in the rotation process here, but everything seems to simmer down now. They are situated on the other side. Threats and users under pressure here. 46 below the surge. They have to find the fight right now. It's only going to get more and more difficult as 17 players have to fall here.
Yeah, that's just bonkers surge numbers right now. I mean, we're only 3 below the zone 3 surge as we're about to go into 5. So 9 duos are going to be under pressure, and maybe even a couple solos put in there. You can see Cracked Teed going down there. Unrealana and Bank, I think, are going to be the ones who ended up actually getting the knock. You can see Bugha in the bottom right-hand corner looking for some tags. Everyone either triple digits above or double digits. Bugha is currently the closest to that Storm Surge line, looking for tags, but everyone also has a ton
not signed
of
to a
excess shields
professional
in the
soccer
utility,
team.
either between them and their
Even
duos,
though
so
he's a
plenty of shots there.
Fortnite
There's
player.
Bank getting the
That's
confirm
just-
onto Teed.
wow.
Trashy also picking up one onto
Man
RN Stark.
City.
Illis gets a pair
You
there.
guys
Calm
are
Magnolia
amazing.
going down outside of the next placement threshold. 1 point
Commandment
will
and
be
Stretch.
awarded when we get to 30 duos left. Acorn going to pick
I
up the
may or
knock
may
there
not have
onto
used the
Sinna.
thought
Baka
that
also getting a knock
Commandment's
onto
name was
Edgy, but
Campbell.
Tahi's going to trade the favor as Owl is going to get the confirmation onto Lava Boy, so it was picked up and sent back down. Tahi ends up picking up his confirmation as Commandment and Stretch is kind of looking for shots, and Zone drops directly on top of their head.
Yeah, this is the perfect situation here. They kind of catch the full zone favor. They get to hang out, focus teams on the outer edge that have to rotate on in, and this is that perfect spot you want to be in. Now, let's not forget, guys, this terrain here is only going to get more and more difficult as we are kind of playing between a piece of the mountain and this valley, low ground, flat area. So we do have a little bit of elevation in play. Anyone that has a piece of that mountain should be in a more favorable situation, but you can't count out that low ground being almost the spot to be in as well, because it's going to be pretty clear players are going to want to start congesting up the side. Miro, though, is by himself, left in a situation now to go ahead and rotate and clutch as a solo. Luckily, he does have a lot of material to work with here, and he finds a nice cozy little location here.
There's no more
Two
metal
Peppers
left.
should be able
They
to
have
help
a
out
lot
as
of
well,
wood.
giving him the burst of movement speed. You can see the little bit of steam coming out there, but everyone is now going to begin the rotation in. If somebody is
Spearboat
relying on the
Knight,
Mythic Spiderweb
Spearboat
shooter to
Knight,
end up closing in,
Hero.
or the launch pads, they're going to use them right about now, keeping it on the
Tahi
bottom
just
right-hand
got
side of the map.
a
It's a
kill.
couple players will start moving a little bit quicker.
Look at
Everyone's
the
going to
kill
pack in
feed.
towards the outside
So
and
many
then
people.
hope that the moving zone pulls over towards their side. Like you said, I mean, if it goes basically anywhere but
Team
slightly
six? Why does it say
northwest, it's going to be a tough time. There is a lot of change in verticality. And let's take a look at two solos
above
right now. Top of your
Sen
screen,
Bougador,
Miro running solo. Bottom
says
left of your
Team
screen,
six.
Tahi running solo. And then Cold and Sentence still up on their feet. Cold rocking with 2 eliminations as, hey, we pulled to the northwest. So a little bit of flat space, some sliding potential in play here, but not a ton of the lobby is
Yeah,
postured up
sliding, I
over on
haven't
that side.
really
You can
gotten
see
to
everyone now
see,
beginning to move back
how
over
sliding
towards
has been
there. And
used.
things are about to get weird for a lot of the solos here. Generally, if you have those Mythic Web Gauntlets, it's not too difficult to rotate through 6 and 7 because you're able to create enough horizontal space where you can just kind of wait
But
for zone to
nobody
catch
really
up and
has
then
that.
go. But 8 and 9
What
ends up being
exactly?
really difficult, and Sent in the bottom right-hand side opens up for a second. Dink, dink,
Why
dink,
Sent?
gone.
Oh,
As a
no,
player
no,
dropped
no,
down,
no,
Tahi
no,
open up,
don't be
looking
too
for a
low,
gap in
don't
the
be
bottom
too low.
left-hand side. Miro's also probably
Okay,
going to pop a pepper and go late
don't
as
be
we're
too
going
low
to
at all.
zoom in on Scented, the low ground king himself,
I
him and
love
Cold.
Scented. And I'm glad
Generally
that he picked up
down
an
towards the
underrated
front side of the
player
zone,
like
but
Cole.
it's going to be a little bit interesting here as
That
they're
just makes
moving
me
back.
love
These
him.
are some of their old builds, but there are players who have already established themselves and are beginning to about face, and Cold took a bunch of damage there.
Yeah, but this is where Scented really starts to come in clutch here, right? His decision making in the end game is usually flawless right now. Look at this. They managed to save a ton of material. We thought we would see a little sliding mechanic in play, and Scented proving that he's got the skills to throw right now. He's going to go ahead and box that player up, pretty much leave Cold to kind of close things out there and slide on in as his focus is getting to the new zone. A disciplined decision there to stop the fight, play for positioning. Miro on the other side has to make these same kind of decisions, but unfortunately, out of heals, out of gas. He's gonna have to take a fight right now as he also has no material. Could this be the blessing in disguise? No, that player had shield. This is rough. The launch pad comes out though, and he is just holding on right now, trying to get in front of this zone, and he is gonna buy himself a little bit more time. As every team falls now, there will be points divvied out, right? So this is very, very important that Miro tries to stay up here.
Yeah, once you're into that top 25, every single duo who goes down, it basically means, hey, you made it to the late game, congratulations, and good luck as Miro now trying to earn some of those hero points, the individual effort points. He will find a striker pump shot there, but only going to end up being the 29 headshot. Not what he needs, the uncommon, not necessarily having the best down potential coming through here as he's hunting for targets. You can see him spinning around, checking the side, wants to find a lurker on the backside of the zone because he doesn't have a single build. He basically just has to follow and hope somebody ends up leaving their 6 open. He's able to pounce on it, but he needs to also be careful about misstepping. He can only tank one shot on the backside of the zone. And if anything more than that will take him down, and Old Man Mountain looking to claim its toll here. He sees he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Will he find it? And he goes down to the pair of agents Up on the high ground, though, Liquid, Stretch, TSM, Commodon, raining shots down, and Hope Man Mountain is going to force everyone over towards the side and into a bunch of metal builds as Fatch and Pamstout also go down. Trashy falling to Scented as duos are just getting whittled away.
Yeah, but Stretch doesn't even have a lot of ammunition to
my
work with
God.
here. He has to be
Let's
careful.
go.
No shotgun either. So this is
Don't
everything he
subscribe to
has
Nero, guys, by the
right
way.
now. It seems like he's
Nero
already
is the
threw it
goat.
at the lobby, and this is just a means
Nero
to
is the
hold on. The pressure there is all one big bluff on height, but that's not going to be the problem here. The real problem is this zone. It's coming down, so they're going to have to come down as well. That limited fire is going to be very interesting. Illis slides off the mountain. This is Raz for him.
No.
Down he goes. It's
No
up to Jack by
way.
himself. He's got a player inside the box.
Jack.
That man's on the run. Jack finds a little moment here. Now he's gonna go ahead and reload, gather himself, play for the situation.
He has no
Do you
more
go
mats.
up? Do you go down? He doesn't have mats actually sent down. There's only one direction for him to start heading in.
Yeah, he's actually going to pause for a second, see if he can't catch somebody dropping down, and it's a gift from
Oh my
above
God.
falls directly in front of him. He's able to get a quick reset on mats, but
Oh my
nothing
God.
else, and he immediately
That
gets
was
taken down.
literally a
That's
gift
8
from
eliminations, I believe, for their duo, though you can see Dubs is still up on his feet towards the bottom stretch, and Commandant trying to work towards the bottom, and a great little hop. Looks like he's playing a platformer and not a battle royale there. A Stretch navigates, finds a pepper, will he pop it and get in front of the zone, trying to use the slide to create a little bit of a change on the side, but he will go down. That's 4th place. Cam and Bucky back up on the high ground. Cold and Scented on the low ground. They got a single solo sandwich in between. Which duo will
my
be
God.
able to find the elim points that will come through?
Oh,
It's
picks up
Cold
Nosh.
picking up Nosh
Oh,
there,
picks
and
up
we have a 2v2
Oh my God.
coming up to
That
close out
big
matchup. But
one.
what a huge shot from
Oh my
Cold.
gosh.
Looking for elim number 8,
Oh,
but he
no.
gets immediately ripped down, and Scented
No way.
gets closed
Cold
out, and
and
Cam and
Bucky
Bucky take
get the
match
number
number 1.
victory
What a
right
big game there for Cam and Bucky there to turn things around. We knew that the no ammo on height was going to be a big problem. We get to see things from Tahi's perspective for a second there as he manages to find himself some endgame points, but Scented and Cold, man, hats off to them. Coming into endgame with 2 eliminations, which was already impressive enough. They managed to pull a 2nd place in game 1 with near 10 eliminations as a duo. Here's Smite and Larson. They didn't get that time in the shine there at the end, but it's okay because Cam and Bucky managed to give us all the limelight we needed there. 6 eliminations in a victory royale.
Okay,
Well
guys.
deserved for
If
the
you enjoyed this
well-executed
video,
high ground
like,
retake there.
Yeah, it was very well played and incredibly impressed with Cold and his ability to end up
I will see you
finding the
next time.
eliminations
Peace.
that